Welcome to the Global Discussion, a discussion with creatives, leaders, and thinkers. My name is Simon Hodgkins. Today, I'm joined by Jona Hysa. Jona, you're very welcome to the show. You're very welcome to the Global Discussion. Let's start. Tell everybody a little bit about Jona. Tell us about the company you're involved in, the community you're involved in, and then we'll get into our discussion today.
So I'm Jona, for everybody calling me Jona, that's fine. It's the white sound of my name. I'm originally from Albania. I'm born in Albania, in Tirana, in the capital city. I moved in Italy when I was 18 to pursue my uni career, so the learning and educational career in Italy, in Venice, to be precise. And then after 20 or so years in Italy, I moved to London and I'm here now around 13 years. So I'm not planning to move anytime soon, but this is me. So my origins and how it all started. Back in 2019, I was feeling overwhelmed. I was a stay-at-home mom. I was not because I wanted to, just in brackets, just to be clear about that. But the project I was working for a big agency, European agency, finished. So I wasn't made redundant in sort of way, but the project ended then. And I was left home with my two kids, a newborn, and I felt so overwhelmed. I'm tired of being a wife and a mom, if we can say that out loud on a podcast show. But yes, so that was me. I felt unworthy. I contribute to the family the way I wanted to, so professionally and actually professionally speaking. So back then I decided I'm going to start something. I'm going to start my business. I started as a virtual assistant. For those that who don't know, the name in the business is still the same, hasn't changed because it's a bit of a history and background of how it started. Purely because I wanted to do something. Didn't matter what. I wanted to use some of my skills. I have a background in project management. So I wanted to use some of those skills. I started as a virtual assistant, doing bits and bobs, jumping from one client to the other, not knowing what to do. And then little by little, when the confidence grew, Simon, are you there with the question? I can see that. When my confidence grew and I was ready to help clients or potential clients with everything that I knew. So with my background, with my knowledge in digital marketing and everything else around it, then I decided to niche down and get going and do what I do today. So I help businesses. So hang on a minute. What do I do? I help small business owners, primarily those in the well-being and coaching industry, get visible and attract clients. I get through my 3-step framework, which is strategy, structure, and consistency. It's everything comes together after all the skills learned and gained in the years of my career. Obviously, I didn't start 10 years ago, my career. I started a while back. Then a year ago, I had enough. Another moment of I had enough. I had enough of being a bit hidden in the background. Yes, I was doing digital marketing, but yes, I was doing messaging for myself, for my business. But then I decided, well, it's not just me here who feels a bit of a non-expert, if you want to call so, because this is such a large topic, expert, non-expert, right? So I decided, okay, I said, everybody is an expert. They know what they know. They've got the skills. They're doing what they're doing. They're helping their clients with what they know. So I said, if this is me and I feel this way, I'm sure there are so many women out there. So I went for women because this is how I can relate more to these women. And I said, why not give these women a space, the one that I didn't have when I started my business, when I could feel not safety, it's not a safety space, it's not a safety net, but it's a space where you can learn, you can grow, and you can connect with like-minded business owners, in this case, being female entrepreneurs. Thank you, Simon. Cool.
Well, that's a great introduction, and boy, did that confidence grow that you were talking about earlier. So, because I know at this stage you've won multiple awards through the work that you do, through your company, the agency, and as you mentioned, you're working with a lot of different clients, aren't you? From luxury, hospitality. You mentioned as well that sort of well-being experts as well that you're working with. And I want to ask you a question about this, Jona, if I can, because today's digital world that we're all involved in, right? it seems noisier, louder, busier. There's multiple platforms, everybody's talking. How do you work specifically with your clients and customers to help them stand out?
This is the first step. So when I talk about strategy structure and consistency in this case, obviously consistency, it's all blended all together. So it's not that you leave it as a third option in my framework, it comes all together. But what is most important is understanding what your clients are looking to gain out of social media. So not just social media as an umbrella, but the platform in specific. We know how the platforms work. We know how the algorithms work. Well, we want to know. So we think we know, right? Before they launch another update. Instagram launched so many updates just over a week ago. But we're not here for that, I believe. Uh, it's the moment that we sit and understand what these clients want. What is their goal? What are they trying to achieve? What do they want their messaging to be? Is it educational? Do they want to inspire people? Do they want to inform people? People in this case, I'm talking about audience. They can be business owners, they can be B2B, product buyers, doesn't matter, consumers or whatsoever. But what are they wanting to? Being clear on the goals, everybody talks, be clear on your goals. I wasn't clear. I'm still not clear. Some goals are not clear. But what I do, I test them. I start with those goals. You have to give yourself a time, even if you hire someone. It's the time for others to understand if your work is working. Again, it can be B2C or B2B, doesn't matter. But at the moment you're not even sharing what you want to share, it's not enough. You can be good in words. Obviously, I come from a different language. I'm not an English mother tongue, obviously, but that doesn't matter. It's what I'm wanting to convey. What is my purpose? What is my audience? What are they wanting? So it's testing out, having conversations with these people. Some will answer in a positive way. Positive means that it's good for your business, that you understand them. Some will not be interested, but they can answer still to your questions if you're testing out the market or you're testing out the growth. Doesn't matter if it's a new launch or an old launch or you're growing in your launch or whatever you're doing. So that's how you convey the message through social media. So that's the first step to discuss with these potential clients and hopefully clients.
Very good. Well, thank you for sharing that, Jona, because it is a busy marketplace. So getting that right at the start as part of your process seems to be key there. And the other thing I wanted to ask you about was just a general question about your view of social media, because you live in the social media world a lot with your customers, with your clients, and you're always looking at the latest updates, I suppose, for the social media platforms and the algorithms. And look, we've come through a time where we had Twitter and now it's called X and it was bought by Elon Musk. We've got LinkedIn algorithms now changing, which are upsetting some of the community. Some love it, some don't like the way it's going. We're seeing more AI generated content than ever before, which some people don't necessarily like. Some people are using it more and more. And there's always two sides to every argument. We've got Instagram, we've got Threads, we've got Blue Sky, we've got Facebook. We've got a plethora of tools available to us. What do you think about social media at the moment? What's it like, the social media landscape? Are some platforms getting it better than others? Do you find that you're spending more time with your customers on certain social media platforms compared to others? What's working at the moment, Jona?
So the platforms, obviously being so many out there, the platforms will always be there. So the social media, digital marketing is here to stay. So digital platforms, not just the marketing itself, it's here to stay. It's not because I said or someone did a little research on the data, but it's what actually everybody is doing. So if people are using through podcast, we are here on a podcast. Thank you for the show and the opportunity again. So we are here on a podcast. That's a digital marketing tool that we're using. So either you put it as a piece of content or a long form of content or anything else, people are eager. People can't wait to show, to be there in a way or another. So they still want to reach. So it's not gonna go. I had a client in the past, I think it lasted 3 months or less, something about that. This was a few years ago. They were in the well-being space very well. We started doing content strategy and everything else. What happened? Since the very beginning, the client was very reluctant on having a social media presence. Oh, but I hate it. I'm not good. I don't want it. I'm not sure. This wasn't the block of having someone to help them. They were not convinced that this tool would have helped them to grow. So that's how I see it. Is the tool helping you to grow? Then you must use it.
Yeah.
So AI, people don't like content with AI. Perfect. But is the content with AI, so made with AI or by AI, whatever you want to call it, reflects you? If it does reflect what you want and what you want to achieve, and what your goals are, more than welcome. Why not use it? It's a tool. So email is still an email. It's a tool. Email marketing. If it's not email marketing, it's your reply to a client or to someone. You are still using a digital tool, though, you like it or not. So if that tool is making your life and your business better, then you are using it. It's the same with AI. I don't see a difference.
Yeah.
People can talk, the talk, they don't want to use it, it's fine. But if it's making your life better, it's helping you to grow, absolutely, why not? By all means.
It reminds me very much of something Gary Vaynerchuk talks about a lot, that these are just tools, and he's no real affiliation or preference for one over the other. It comes down to exactly what you're saying. Is this tool working for me? Is it reaching the audience I want to work? Am I using it like a tool? And if not, why not? Because it's not about which one, I suppose, is the current favorite. We hear a lot, don't we, Jona, about TikTok and the TikTokification of social media, where you put stuff out, people followed you if they liked you, and then TikTok came along and kind of turned it around and said, well, if you like this, we'll just send you more of this. And a lot of the other platforms seem to be doing that now, don't they?
If you stop by for more than 3 seconds, you're done. So
Very
I scroll, obviously, I do research for clients, I do research for my business. So I scroll the platforms, I keep update with the updates and whatever features they are launching or what their changes in the algorithm or whatever they say what they're doing. Because obviously, you have track of things that are visible to you or available to you. But on the other hand, I was scrolling for some cooking recipe. Not that I was looking for exact recipe, but it attracted my attention. One of the clips that the way the creator was shooting the content. So that was quite unique and interesting with a beetroot on your face. So that was a bit too much. But that was the way it was working. So hence it attracted my attention in that minute. Therefore, now I get all the time beetroot because I stayed on the piece of content for more than 3 seconds, 5, even more actually in this case. So I keep getting beetroot content and I keep getting obviously the same creator or similar creators that the algorithm, we're not going to talk about search engine optimization, but it's part of that. So whatever the search engine optimization has scrolled, so it has scrolled there at the minute I was there. So all that bits of information was put in front of me. Therefore, I still get that information. So yes, you are absolutely right about
Yeah,
TikTok and
100%.
any other platform.
Yeah. Well, look, you've mentioned search engine optimization, because that's changing too, isn't it? Where we're seeing a little bit of growth in the AI space, with people maybe writing for AI now. So their website information, their company information, their personal profile stuff starts to show up in AI. It still seems a little bit hit and miss. It's not traditional search. And yet we've seen some of the big players, um, whether it's Google or Bing or whatever, they're starting to show results, but actually explaining it more. It's sort of synthesizing the answers, giving you a paragraph of what the answer to your search is. And we're seeing a drop in clicks to some websites because of that. And that's still being worked through. But it seems like the death of search engine optimization seems to be very exaggerated, because it still seems to be growing in certain areas. So SEO seems to be very important, but so does how do you get picked up or crawled by the large language models for AI? You must be in this world too. Your customers must be talking about this, Jona, right?
This is such a good and interesting question. It's a deep question that I'm trying to, so I'm going to try to answer that in a few words. In a nutshell, be it SEO optimization or geo optimization, which is the AI optimization in this case, it's a combination of keywords. In the world of SEO optimization, there are single keywords or a limited group of keywords that you are using in your content, website content. Whereas if you're using now in geo optimization, so content made for AI to be picked up and crawled by AI, obviously, it's a larger string. It's answers in this case. It creates a sentence. It creates the piece of content by one question. And if that question, someone is typing that question that they're looking on the website, on Google search or AI search, if we want to call it AI search, it's that piece of string. So it's the strap line, one sentence. If that is answering the question that people are looking for, then you'll be crawled by AI. That's the search optimization for AI. Whereas SEO optimization is still there. It's not going to go. Again, as with everything with digital marketing or digital tools, it's there and it's a tool, but that is on a bigger scale. So it's very much broader search rather than AI, when you are having answers to specific questions. So if your website, your content on your website is answering those questions, then you are in good position. You're good there.
Yeah, it's
But if it's
great.
not answering those questions, I'm afraid it's not
Not so
doing the
much.
job
Yeah.
for AI purpose.
Mm.
So AI optimization.
Yeah, thank you, Jona. I knew that would be highly topical at this moment in time for you, that's for sure. Look, we've talked a little bit about AI and SEO and social media and the type of people that you're working with. But can I ask you a little bit more, because we mentioned it briefly, about the Moving Women Forward community? Because you said you sort of started this up. You've got quite a lot of people involved in this community at this stage, but could you, for our audience, explain what it is? What does the community actually do? How are you going about moving women forward? How is it empowering people? Tell us a bit more about that, Jona.
So the community, as I said, so in the background, in the back of my mind, actually, I was thinking, oh, I want to do something. You see, when we have different goals, so my goal is not just to inspire people, but it's to educate. So I want to share the knowledge. I don't want to keep it for myself. Other people want to keep it for themselves. It's their way of doing business. I want to share whatever I know. Doesn't matter of what level of business one is starting off or growing. I want to share with them whatever I know. So if I'm sharing whatever I know, I was thinking, but why not have build up a little community? Obviously, my dream is a bigger community in this case, but why not have this community? Again, when I started, I didn't have this space. So I wanted to give voice to these women with their knowledge and expertise, share their knowledge, share their expertise, network and create opportunities for each other. So collaboration at the core of the community. So collaborating is not just about I'm selling something to you and you're selling something to me, but it's building up on those bits of information or knowledge that you have together as a community. So I see it in the way that the more people collaborate, the more opportunity for growth there will be. So I've collaborated with other people unknown to me, so strangers, and to today, those people are still in my network. They are the people that I go, that I trust, and I do business with. That's what I wanted to create. So the space to grow with expert-led advice in different fields, obviously primarily focused with digital marketing, but we have so many experts, panelists, talks that we do. We do host master classes and workshops. So this to give them, so the community, the opportunity to learn and grow all together. There's no judgment, so anyone can have any questions. They can be in different stages of their business. I want people to be visible. I want people to have the courage to talk, not because they want to talk the talk and stay there all day and all night, across social media platforms or podcasts or anything else, but I want them to talk to their clients so they can reach more clients, so can attract more business in their career, in their business actually.
Yeah, great. And I know, look, you obviously talk about things like marketing and sales and digital with that community, but you also talked about, you also talk in that community about helping people move forward when they feel a little bit stuck, whether that's in their life or whether it's in their business or maybe a bit of both, because that can also be a little bit isolating, maybe a little bit frustrating for people. But you also focus on something about turning your passion, what you're passionate about, into profit, right? Into actually making money. And is there a gap, is my question, between, whether it's women in this community, for example, but having ideas and plans, but the challenge or the gap, the struggle to actually turn that into a business that's making money? Do you see that?
Absolutely. Two things in here inside the community. I cannot speak for other communities, obviously, but I can speak for our community, the Moving Forward community. Two things. First of all, ideas are good, but if you are not taking any action, so you are not developing anything, they are just ideas, right? So you just smoke. What happens here? Founders procrastinate. It's such an overused term. It's used everywhere. I don't want to use it anymore. I don't use it in my content. I use it every now and then, but it's true. People do not sit and do the work. People don't have, for many reasons. And there comes the second bit. They either don't have the knowledge or they don't have the time. If you don't have the knowledge, then you have the opportunity to learn and do it along the way in the community. If you don't have the time, then means that you are not growing. You don't have the time at the moment, but your resources will drain out, will run out. So your pool of clients will run out. You will not have eternal clients. I don't believe in eternal clients unless you do something, I don't know, super specific or something really big and important for your group or for your clients, but it will run out, that pool of clients. So you don't have the time now, but you will have the time if you want to find the time. And that is the moment where people are not accountable. So the first one is procrastination, and the second one, they are not accountable. They want someone to keep them accountable. That's why we host accountability calls. They can happen monthly when it's a monthly goal setting, or we do them weekly when it's a weekly, no, not weekly review, but weekly settings. So the goal setting. So we work on what is working and why it's not working. Obviously, I don't cover the business growth. I don't cover business strategy, but I can hear why it's not working. And it comes down to one thing: people are not accountable. So they want someone to keep them accountable. Once the knowledge is shared and is given to them by experts in the field, obviously, again, we're not expert in everything. But when they have that resource, then they cannot say no. Comes the second bit. They are not accountable. So they want someone to keep them accountable so they can carry on and put those ideas into work.
So a true community in every sense of the word, then, really. And
thank you.
What about individuals or I suppose companies who they've tried social media, it's not really working for them. They've realized that even though a lot of these tools appear to be free, you have to put time and effort and energy into it, and it's not really working for that person or for that company. What would you say to them? How do you give them tips to turn their social media into a superpower? How do you go about that, Jona?
Well, the superpower is within. It's not just with me. So I can share as much as I want, but it's you at the end of the day that has to do the work. You can have the content writer, content creator, you can have everybody helping you. But at the end of the day, you are the face of the business. So there must be some input that you are giving to your business, in this case to social media for your business. If you are not replying to any DM, you are not replying to any comments. We had a major client, they were not replying to anyone. Even if it's a heart, you like, if it's not Instagram, will be LinkedIn, a like, or or a well done or a thumbs up, doesn't matter what emoji you're using. But if your audience is engaging with you in a way, it's good that you follow up. I'm not saying send them an email, draft the email marketing campaign from scratch, but I'm saying keep going, a little thank you, not in DM, in public, there under your post. It will boost your post as well. So it's a good way to boost visibility.
Yeah, that's a good point, because so many people push out the content, but then when somebody interacts with it or reacts or adds a comment or even a reshare, you often see the person or the brand or the company, they forget about the next step, right? And the algorithm likes that, doesn't it? It likes the
Absolutely.
threaded conversation. It encourages those. It shows it then to more people in a lot of the platforms, doesn't it?
Yes, because you're staying longer on the platform,
Right.
not just you specifically, but your piece of content is engaging, is traction. So there's traction here.
Very good.
So we there's a lot of conversation about traction also in business, but that's attraction. So you have to attract and start the traction process.
Yeah, it
That's
makes
how it
sense.
is.
It makes sense, Jona. Look, I've got two more questions for you before we run out of time today. And the first one is, I'm going to ask you a little bit about how people can get in touch with you. And I'm also going to ask you then finally to give us some sort of takeaways or what you want us to think about when we come to the end of this episode. So for our audience, maybe some insights or some thoughts or something you want to leave us with to think about. That would be useful. But let's start with the first one. If people are listening or watching this episode around the world and they said, you know what, that sounds really good. I want to find out more about the work Jona does. I want to find out more about the community that she has, that she's been running successfully, because it has grown significantly. How do they get in touch with you? Where's the best place to send people to, Jona?
Right. Oh my God. So being across social media platforms, talking about visibility here, they can reach out on LinkedIn. I go by Jona Hysa, so full name. There's nothing there hidden or complicated, very easy. I don't think I have competitors name-wise, so I stand out a little bit based on my name, which is a good thing for me in this case. But they are also more than welcome to check our Moving Women Forward community. If they Google search that, I'm sure we are indexed. I'm sure we are SEO optimized. We are not so much AI optimized for many reasons because we haven't done the work, but we are getting there with our work. So the focus, again, go back to accountability. That's one of the topics and main goals for the month. So do the work on the website and get more traction there. This is the best way to reach out in DM or follow me on social media to see what I talk about. There's another way for your audience if they want to download some e-guides that are drafted for social media to help so these businesses optimize their content across social media platforms, not just to be visible. Download guides on Instagram. They can download another guide on LinkedIn and another guide on Threads, another one about mastering social media for growth. They are all available on my website. My website is timeforpa.com. But if they reach out to me, I'm sure they will see the link in bio in all these digital platforms, and then they have access to the content there.
Thank you, Jona. That's great. Thanks for sharing that. And look, finally, then, is there anything else that you want to share with our worldwide audience, or any takeaways or things we need to be thinking about?
Well, so I was invited in another radio show and another TV show actually, and I had one message for everybody out there. This is a message again, not for everybody. So we're talking about women in the community. We have men in the community, and I like to emphasize that every now and then we do have men in the community. Is that I want these women not as a startup. They can be startup, or they can be in their toddler growth or in mid growth, whatever they want to call it. Is that I want them to wake up with one feeling. I'm happy. I did it. Not I'm going to. Because I'm going to, it doesn't give you a time, it doesn't give you a date, doesn't give you anything. But when you wake up, you say, I did it. I did an email, I did a social media post, I did a podcast show. Anything that you did is a did in the past. So you wake up the day after and you say, oh, well, I did that yesterday, which is great. That's what I want for them if they hear this story. To wake up and say, I did it.
Well, that's a great thing to end on. Thank you for sharing that, Jona. It brings us, unfortunately, to the end of our time here on this episode of the Global Discussion. I want to thank everybody around the world who's watching or listening to this episode. Make sure that you follow, like, subscribe to the show. Do everything I need you to do to help support the Global Discussion. Go and check out all the great work that Jona's doing with her company and with her community. Go and check all that out. And look, hopefully you can join me back here for some more discussions with creatives and with leaders and with thinkers, just like Jona. But Jona, thanks for being on the show. It's been great to talk to you again today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I had such a fun conversation with you, Simon. Thank you. Thanks a lot, and good luck with your show.